All right, third long ball of Monday morning. USL Championship still has one more weekend of action ahead, but the playoff picture is pretty clear for the most part. So if we bring this up, the top 8 make it in there. 1 through 7 on the East are confirmed, but Detroit City FC is in the weeds a little bit. They still have to navigate the final weekend of the season. Indy 11 and Tampa Bay Rowdies can catch them if results go against them. So I believe producer Jenny said that DCFC play Tampa Bay Rowdies the final game of the season on Saturday. Tampa has to win by 3 and Indy has to lose for them to lose their spot. But Detroit City FC has had a back end of the season slide, which has put them in a precarious situation here in the final weeks.
Well, I mean, but even if Detroit draws Tampa, Indy can jump them into that final spot. Indy's got Orange County. Am I seeing that correctly, Rob? I believe that's Orange County there, very small. So a little bit of a conference situation there in Orange County. So that's in Orange County for Indy 11. Just worth pointing that out. Orange County right now in 9th place in the West, playing for their own playoff lives, right? So this is what's on the line in the final day. Here's the Western Conference. Tulsa, number 1 overall seed. They've already confirmed that. It looks like Sacramento Republic's got a game in hand. I don't know what that does for what's coming up. Who in the East still has an extra game to play? I guess that would be, I don't know why it says 28 and everybody else has 29. I'll have to check on what that looks like. Anyway, New Mexico there, Sacramento, El Paso. Who in the East or who in the West is qualified? What do we got left to play for, Rob?
On the East side of the bracket, confirmed for the playoffs, Louisville, Charleston, Hartford, Pittsburgh, Loudoun, North Carolina, and Rhode Island. I did see some rejoicing from Rhode Island. They had a very good presence on social media over the weekend. Louisville winning the first place regular season points total with an impressive 21 wins, 1 loss, and 7 ties.
Yeah, shout out to Soccer Night in Detroit who caught it. I don't know why you couldn't see the 28 next to Charleston. Charleston and Sacramento will play on Wednesday in a midweek match that will get them both to 29 games going into the final weekend.
Indeed. So Louisville dominant, and then shout out to Tulsa Mario, your team leading the way in the West. And I saw in the Discord server, the Morning Kickaround Discord server, which you can gain access to with a membership, saying he is grateful for the first time he hasn't had to be a math professor to figure out how his team is going to make the playoffs in the final week. So shout out to Tulsa leading the way in the West. Our friends out of New Mexico United confirmed in there as well. So that is the championship bracket. Still one more game to go for most of these teams. Championship getting into playoff mode, and we'll break down those brackets once these final games are played after the final weekend. And if we want to pull up, do we have USL One's league ready to look at?
Let's acknowledge our new member first.
Hey,
there you go.
I'm assuming French horn. Welcome on board. Always love new memberships, and we got 4 more to go, and we'll have a bonus segment following our segment at the end of the show. So thank you for getting the momentum started. Brand new member, thank you so much for joining the MK Ultras here on the live show.
So what is it that you wanted to pull up, Rob? We've done the East,
the USL League One. USL League One. There's still a little bit to play for. As you can see, 1 through 7 has been confirmed, but Charlotte Independence, AV Alta, and Forward Madison all still vying for that last spot, that 8th spot. So that means Knoxville, Chattanooga Red Wolves, Spokane Velocity, Omaha, Naples in their debut season, Tormenta, Portland Hearts of Pine, all confirmed playoff teams.
Yeah, it's obviously there are some questions around some of these teams that we've done we've done a little bit of off the field coverage. Texoma is one of them. Obviously not going to make the playoffs this year. But I think there's some questions around South Georgia Tormenta, who have been champions of this league at one point. There are new teams making waves here. Naples, AV Alta trying to make the playoffs. We've got the established group. tough one for Westchester in their inaugural season, and it looks like Richmond is still trying to figure it out. After that, they had dropped to USL League One a couple years ago after being a championship team or a second division team for a long time. Of course, Greenville triumphed there. The thing about this league is that a lot of these teams are still very much in the process of formulating who they will be over the course of years and decades, and making the playoffs and winning a title can be a big thing when you're at that point, when you're making announcements about stadium renderings and plans and putting shovels in the ground, Rob.
And looking at this table as it is now, it won't look like this next year. There's going to be 7 new teams added to this table next year. And that's a big part of, the unanswered questions video at the end of the show that we're going to talk about is how will all these teams be divvied up once Pro Rel is instilled and engaged. I don't know if that's the right word, but take a mental note of this because this table won't look like this next year.
Look, 8 teams make the playoffs and single elimination in the USL League One, single elimination in the championship as well. But which is different than Major League Soccer. Major League Soccer is doing this best of 3 thing, which is pretty ridiculous. And we'll see what MLS looks like down the road if they decide to switch their calendar, if they change their playoff format. Here is, in this situation, one-off playoff games, home of the home stadium of the higher seed. If you add 7 teams and now you have 21 teams in this league in 2026, Rob, do you still go with 8 playoff teams, or will we see an expansion of the playoffs?
Well, if the MLS tradition is poked in, if there's 20 teams, there's got to be like 12 playoff teams, right? If that's the case.
And I think that there would be a concern from some USL League One fans. I mean, obviously, again, if you're talking about sort of the average casual, not attached to the team throughout the season, doesn't own a season ticket, but will go to games and will pay attention if his team makes the playoffs. That's why leagues go with expanded playoff fields, to keep those fans interested. If you tell somebody, hey, there's only 8 playoff spots in a 21 team league, by the time we hit early August, early September, things are basically over for half the teams in the league, or something like that. So it does make it interesting. And of course, it could be conferences with 21 teams. You can split the league in half and do something like that, which is probably which way they'll go, Rob.
It's no secret that we had a good time when we went out to New Mexico for the Meow Wolf game about a month or so ago. And on that table, Portland Hearts of Pine in their, what would you call it? Amazing inaugural season, big rush of support and coverage, and just one of the better debut seasons for a soccer game. Yeah. Hail Mary style. If there's anyone from Portland Hearts of Pine tuned in, get us out there. Fly out Morning Kickaround, would you? I mean, we would love to be at a Portland Pine playoff game.
We've had a little bit of connection. We have not talked to the team directly. We did do the discussion about the documentary that is currently running on YouTube. Updates. I think they're still dropping new episodes every week. But yeah, we've talked about it. Maybe we'll get there. Maybe we'll get up to Portland. We need to reach out to the team directly. I know that Landon Donovan and oh my gosh, why am I blanking? Tim Howard on their show talked to somebody from Portland, which feels like they're encroaching on our territory, but whatever. They're soccer legends, so we're not.
Yeah, get out of here, legends. This is our niche, but that about does it for our long balls here today. Shout out to our new member. I play French horn. Personal note, my mother played the French horn, so welcome aboard. Lovely. One of 5 new members needed to get a bonus at the end of the show today. But you can, of course, enjoy for free as a subscriber. Join the MK Ultras or just become a subscriber. Either one helps the program.